With that being said, Brother Vava, how many years total would you say you've gave the criminal justice system?
Say total juvenile to adult, I said probably about 33 years.
33 years. Wow. And so, how was that journey during the time you were in the system up until you met POP or got involved with the power of people? Like, how was that journey for you?
Well, man, that particular journey was a a journey that I thought I was by myself, in the whole system. Felt injustice. Didn't nobody understand what I was going through. A lot of the titles they put on me wasn't even close. They didn't really get to know who I was. So, or even investigate what's going on in my life or anything else, But their first thing was, lock me up. So, wasn't none of that, for me.
Right. And so, when you were inside, what was the dynamic? Like, what was it that attracted you to POP when you were inside?
Oh, when I was inside was just how the guys acted, how they was respectful, how they carried themselves in the institution, and their language, around the institution, so, these was the go-to guys, they would talk about a lot of the guys for POP, and some of them I knew and some of them I didn't, so, but I knew that was the road that I had been traveling for a little while anyway, so that led me into that, so, far as positivity, far as attracting positivity, so that led me to the group,
So, like, what was the difference between the Power People versus the other programs at the institution office? Because they had other programs.
Yeah. Well, it's a way big difference between Power People and Leadership Institute and other programs. I believe it was the other programs was just there, as you did time. Power People and Leadership Institute was there to take you even further. It wasn't just for a moment. It was for a lifetime. So it was a big change. In fact, it wasn't something that impacted you for the moment. It's impacted you for the rest of your life. So that was the attractive part for me. It's like the words that were spoken I had never heard before, and it allowed me to grow right away. Other programs, they didn't have none of them type of dynamics where they were speaking the truth. Everything else was about just phony programming, just to pass your day.
Cookie cutter type stuff.
Band-aid stuff, Yeah. So it wasn't even, it was a waste of time, they wasted a lot of money.
Right. And time.
Yeah.
And that you kind of already answered it, but my next question was, why did you buy into POP, versus the other programs? Because, man, you could have just, and what made you stay and be a part of the POP movement? Because you could have just got the certificate and left and never been a part of POP again, which is typical with the other programs. They give you a certificate and you never hear from them again. So,
I think the difference with the other programs is the sincerity of the people that was coming in and how the different programs ran. And And other programs, I never felt no love.
Wow.
You know, it was just a passing thing. You getting out of your room, a cell, and everything else, and just going through the process of just okay, we need this place filled, then we got it filled.
Right.
And I was just one that had it filled. So, but the POP was a life changer. You know, it wasn't just a everyday program that came through. It was a life changer that made me see everything different, you know, and wanted to live a better life. So it was definitely that. And that was the thing that kept me still there, because when I looked at it from those in the past, this is what I'm supposed to have been doing anyway. This is the direction I'm supposed to have been living anyway. Supposed to have been doing anyway. You know, the elders all, that stuff came back into my life. You know, far as, you know, this is what you're supposed to be doing the right thing no matter what. When anybody's looking or not, you still do the right thing. You still continue to do positive no matter what. In the institution or not, situations or not, if you can avoid situations or not, you can change it. So that made me continue to stay with the group, because it was, I believe it was a calling that I had longed from in the past. Then finally it caught up to me and said, okay, here you go. And this is all like boom. And so that was a part of it for me.
Wow. That's powerful, man. And so now I had trouble answering this question because the answer was so infinite, but can you think of any ways, inside or out, that the Power of People has been able to support you in any way?
Oh. Inside?
Or out?
Well, inside, man, the support of the love and the support of I'm a powerful human being with purpose allow me to even be more freer. So I see that as a gift from the POP to me, and to implement it in my life, you know. So, and that's what I started in the institution, you know. So it didn't matter what the situation. I wasn't reacting to anything negative. It was about all positive. So that was a piece for me. That was the gift, you know.
Absolutely.
And I was prepared for that gift.
Yes, sir.
Because I had been longing for years to have someone or something come to change my whole thinking process. I mean, totally, to where it rendered the change is related to the Creator, you know, and the ancestors. So that I must walk this walk, you know, because I done enough other stuff that was destructive. So, but outside it's been it's even been more. I mean, the parts of being able to speak to different people, going different places, meeting a lot of different people I never thought I would meet. The love of the program, the Power People and Leadership Institute itself. You know, just to come in the room, you know, you can feel the love even before you get to the door. You know, so that's big. You know, and always supportive. May it be financial if I needed that. That's always offered if I needed it. Housing, you know, all of that. You know, clothing. You know, so, but the biggest part was being, man, now that I'm here, out here, that I have a responsibility, you know, to uphold being a member and a student teacher of the Power of People Leadership Institute that renders me to keep moving forward. And we still doing the right thing out here. I mean, the support is huge, you know, as far as situations that come up. You know, I know I can call anybody from POP and say this is what's going on, no matter what time it is. So,
absolutely.
And that's been important, you know, that I can do that. And they've been supportive of everything I've been doing. So, you know, the big part was when my mother passed, you know.
Yes, sir.
Man, it was huge. My brother had passed before that. Them two things was huge for me. You know, so I got a chance to be out here with them, you know, before they passed, with them for years. So,
absolutely.
You know, that was huge. That support, you know. I didn't know how I was going to get over that, you know.
Absolutely.
And, how I was going to deal with that, how I was going to react to it. Because inside, I had ideals how I was going to react. Mm-hmm. But outside, it was different, you know, so it allowed me to even be still and just allow people to love on me and, you know, let me know how it's going to be. So that was, you know, so a big part is they support me in always, you know.
Absolutely.
Always possible. That's what it's doing.
Wow, man. And so, you know, can you explain or describe to me that first feeling of you being free, whether it be inside or out? What was that feeling like when you just knew you were free?
Oh, wow. That's a good question. Oh, man, the first inside was, you know, when I surrendered, you know, was I'm an ex-gangman. Mm-hmm. And I surrendered to the Creator, and I was just done, and I was able to recapture my life back, you know, and that was huge for me, you know, to be able to just to surrender this, put this chapter up, and say, man, I'm dedicated to this, to living a better life, doing the right thing, you know, and I didn't care who had a problem with that, you know. And that was the thing with me. So, and that was what happened, you know. I said, anybody have a problem with that, you know, we meet me in the middle of the yard.
Right.
Know, if you got a problem with that. So, then nobody had a problem with it. So I was prepared for that too. So, you know, but, man, you know, outside is even better. You know?
Absolutely.
You know, it's just been, you know, sometimes it can get overwhelming for me, you know. Mm-hmm. You know, because I had never had a lot of positive people around me, a lot of thinkers, a lot of people showing love, you know, especially African American. You know, and they didn't have no intent of harming me or doing anything to me. You know, so man, that was like, wow, man, this thing is real. You know, this is no joke. You know, so that's how I really felt about it. You know, it's what they call it's the transformer. You know, it transforms. You know, and it transcends. You know, the things that I thought or I couldn't get to. You know, so and I was able to do that. You know, and in that part was and it was a challenge to me. You know, it was a challenge to me to say, hey, you are the best. So and to act like that and to do that. So that was, man, it was, you know, it'd be nights that I could just get up and just like, man, you know, I'm here, you know, and I'm doing it, what I've been taught, what I learned, you know, and I'm putting that in motion. It's not a facade, you know, it's not a program, you know, because, you know, POP is I don't consider it a program.
Absolutely.
It's considered as a life changer. And it's just you continue. I continue to get better. So and the guys do too. So I mean, just being a student teacher is I have a responsibility, and my responsibility is to be the best that I can be. So that's what I do every day.
Absolutely, man. And so, we often refer to ourselves as pop guys.
Yeah.
This guy's a pop guy. He's all right. He's a pop guy. Is he a pop guy?
Yeah.
This and that. But we use the term pop guys every day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But the world has absolutely no idea what we're talking about when we say pop guy.
Yeah.
What is your definition of a pop guy?
My definition of a pop guy is a person that has put in work, see the things in his life or her life that was made mention in discovery of following doing the paperwork files with the books, the teachings, those that standing in good standing and acting accordingly to what the organization is about. It's about hope and change.
Yes, sir.
So, and that stands out. If a person is not about hope and change, you can see that.
Absolutely.
That person is not about hope and change. That person is about this degradation and destruction. So you can see that. So, and that's a big thing. So when you say pop guy, that's held to a high standard.
Yes,
and
sir.
that comes with responsibility and leadership qualities.
Yes, sir.
Because every pop guy has some leadership quality.
Yes, sir.
So with that, be it to the community, family, to the world, they have that leadership quality. So, and that's the responsibility we have. We recognize that we have, and it's been instilled in us. We've been doing the work inside, and now we're doing it outside.
Yes,
still going the same way. So that's when I say pop guy. When you mention that, it's at a high standard, and that person is living and walking what he's supposed to be doing. Yes.
Hands down.
Yeah.
Hands down. So my next question is a difficult one. As one I don't like to think about, but where do you think you would be if it weren't for POP?
So I'd still be in prison.
Right.
I'd still be in prison. Because my thinking wasn't straight. Of course I had stopped doing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But the other part of that is, where do I go now?
Right.
I'm stopped
What
doing
do I
stuff.
do now?
Yeah, what do I do now?
Right.
That I realized, hey man, I don't want that life no more. Mm-hmm. And I stopped doing stuff, but what do I do now?
Wow.
So I had a redirection, to this is what you're supposed to be doing.
Right.
So that's what the POP leadership has instilled in me, that hey, this what you was doing. You didn't have no direction after you was getting better with yourself and recognize who you was as a person. And I didn't want to commit crimes in prison and do all kinds of other stuff, which allowed me to get out too. Mm-hmm. And but that other part was, hey, what do I do now? So that POP came along and said, this is what you do now.
Exactly.
And and that allowed me to, soar, Yeah, so like an eagle. So I was like, man, it took me to the next level,
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, I'm a firm believer in giving people their roses while they can still smell them. Mm-hmm. And so I just want to say personally, it's been an honor. I look up to you. You're one of the guys I look up to in this group, and it's been an honor watching your leadership develop and in motion. I've been seeing you out at community. I mean, you're very active. Yeah. True definition of a servant leader, man. And I just want to say before we go any further, congratulations.
Thanks, I appreciate that.
Because it's not easy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
None of this transition from where we were is easy. Yeah. But for some way, you know, the creator, with the creator's help, man, you know, we make it seem easy, but it's really not.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, I don't even know if proud is the word. Yeah. But you know, I admire your leadership, man, and you know, again, hats off to you, man.
Thanks.
And then, you know, so another question I have for you was, if you could tell Shane, Brother Shane, or Dr. Verna anything, what would you like to tell him?
Don't thank them both for saving my life, you know, giving me hope, you know, because at that time, even though I was making some changes, you know, there wasn't no hope for me getting out of prison. So, you know, that's what that came in. Wow. So when the hope popped up in there, then I knew I had a chance. So, you know, they love and support was the greatest to come through anything, you know, especially in that time. So that was the part that, you know, the hope part, you know, because there's a lot of people had no hope. So when hope popped in, it was over. So I knew I had a chance. So with that chance, then I just didn't look back. So, and that's what I would like to say to them. You know, they instill hope in me and them. You know, so quite a few different things, you know. You kind of get both of them, you know, they kind of attack you a little bit.
Yeah.
So, you know, you get a bunch of stuff, you know, and that's what, you know, the elders should do too. I mean, you get all that love, you know, so, and, you know, and that's one of the terminology of one of the questions you asked me earlier, how the terminology of pop come about, you know, and because of that feeling and that part of that, you know, it turned into that, you know, even though it was points of, you know, the institution, you know, so, but it turned into some different stuff, you know, with a lot of us, you know, even with Dr. Burnett, you know, we call her mom, you know, you know, so, but yeah, that was it, you know. Yeah.
And it's amazing that, you know, you can have hope in the middle of a land and a climate full of hopelessness.
Yeah.
And me personally, I never thought I could be a part of anything positive. It just seems so foreign. Spending so much time on the other side of the fence, but I mean, I'm blessed to be a part of this, man, and I'm blessed to know brothers like you. I love your story, man. I love what you represent, and you know, you may not know it or not, but you are one of the strongest foundations out of all the pop guys in this group, man. And like I said, I look up to you, man. I love your leadership, man, and proud of you, man.
Thanks.
So, yes, sir, man. And anything else you wanted to say, man, before we wrap up?
Yeah. You know, if even in the DOC, the DOC does not put the emphasis on the importance of, if you're talking about departments of corrections, you trying to correct something, then you have to use and analyze the Power of People Leadership Institute, because that is a life changer. It's not a joke. So I think that the Power of People Leadership Institute don't get the credit it deserves.
I agree.
Because our recidivism is way low.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
3%.
way low.
Yeah.
And even with them going back, it's because of some other stuff. And so I feel it don't get the props it deserves. And I think it should be implemented in the world.
Absolutely.
So in every institution and every out in the world, you know, in different institutions, just the philosophy of it, you know.
Indeed.
And the concept of it, you know, because it can change even an executive CEO's life. You know, hey man, you making some bogus decisions. You have to be, you know, you got to be using some right words, some thinking, and everything else.
Yes,
you know,
sir.
so, I think it should be implemented in the world, especially in the institution, because of the rate of recidivism is low, and people, when we mention pop guys, we know that they are standing on something.
Absolutely.
They are not faking, and if they is, we know it, and we'll tell them.
Absolutely.
And they know we'll tell them, and we'll beat on them, and it ain't no joke. Man, if you broke the law, man, we ain't help
you gotta
you.
go.
You broke the law. You know. So the law is for lawbreakers. We don't break the law no more.
Not
so
at all.
It ain't for us.
Not at all.
So yeah, so I would, you know, hope that they would implement it in more of the institutions around the world. And outside of the institutions as well. So I believe, you know, the DOC should acknowledge that what the POP have done and what it had continued to do, and what it continued to do on the street. So I think that need to be a legislation point or a piece in there, you know, to pass and say, hey, you know, I might be the spokesperson for that to go down there.
Absolutely.
Pass, y'all need to pass this, because this is, you know, y'all talking about you want to save some money. You can save some money.
Yes,
you know?
sir.
You don't have to worry about all of that recidivism. You don't have to worry about nobody commit no crime. You know, so I think they, DOC, Department of Corrections, should look into that and honor that, because it's real.
Absolutely.
You know? How can you beat the truth? You know?
Okay.
So yeah, that's what I would like to say for the end.